Hello, friends. Episode 16 of Everything Mayer, your favorite John Mayer podcast. I am your host, Tom Butwin, and thank you for coming back this week. We had a bit of a break last week with Memorial Day. It did drop a video, so if you haven't checked it out, go take a look at the Heart and Armor Foundation video that I did, a short one. And of course, as always, if you're looking to support this channel and what we're doing here, check out the membership option below and join the growing number of people who want unreleased content and what will eventually be monthly live streams. They are coming. Members, I promise they're coming. So today, we've got a couple things to talk about. Stick around for the whole show. Definitely got to stick around for the whole show because later on, I'm going to talk about why I think John Mayer should not be sued. I'll leave it at that. How's that for a teaser? He should not be sued. So make sure you stick around for that. But really, the big news this week is those of you hoping for a John Mayer studio album in 2024. We've talked about this before on the channel. My belief is it's not happening in 2024. I think mid to late 2025. I think the recent announcement from Dead & Company for their Sphere shows being extended tells us even more so that Mr. Mayer is not going to be releasing something, certainly not touring in 2024, because they've added dates all the way into August 10th now. I don't know where this ends. How many open dates are there at the Sphere? I'm sure some savvy person could go and maybe check some scheduling or, whatever else they have going on in Las Vegas at that crazy venue. But so we're through August 10th now. How do you feel about that as a John Mayer fan? As a John Mayer fan, how do you feel about this? I know some people were kind of like, I love when he plays Dead & Company, but it's a lot of dates, and that really means that we're pushing off that new music that we're all hoping for throughout the solo tour and then after the solo tour. Before the Sphere was announced, we were all thinking like, hey, what does 2024 really hold for John Mayer and his solo record, that he's talked about working on. He's working on it. So my guess, just my prediction, not coming in 2024. I think that's fairly obvious. I hope I'm wrong, honestly, because I'm itching for new Mayer material. This podcast would benefit greatly from John Mayer dropping something new. So I have a self-interest in this now, of course, as a fan and a host of a show like this. But what do you think? Are you happy about this? Because I think there's a divide. If a lot of people who are Mayer fans have gotten into the Dead because of him. I've seen Dead & Company twice, and it's because of John Mayer. I would not have gone to see Dead & Company if it was, Trey from Phish on guitar. Great guitar player, cool band. Not something I'm going to go see, though, to be completely honest. So because of that, and my priority is the John Mayer solo stuff, I don't mean solo tour, I mean like his solo records. I share your maybe not disappointment, certainly not, because any music Mayer is making I'm good with. Hey, it is what it is. It's better than it is what it is. But I definitely share your anticipation for that new music, and this definitely, in my mind, definitely means that it's going to be delayed even longer. So, where do you see this going? Do you think we're going beyond August 10th at the Sphere? By the way. I don't know. I certainly didn't think you'd be going into August at all. I thought we were done. This is the second time they're adding dates, so they must be doing well. They must be selling well. And reviews have been very positive of the show, so I'm not surprised. They always leave, some open-endedness there at these runs. And obviously, they have other things going on during the week at the Sphere, from what I understand. So, this could go on for a long time, as long as the guys are willing to go out and do it. Maybe they'll come back even. I think we'll see U2 back at the Sphere at some point. I don't think that's ended. I think you'll see Phish back at the Sphere at some point. So yeah, I'm thinking still 2025 for any new music coming out. Certainly no touring. Maybe not even in 2025. Mayer's been busy. Since 2020, when everything shut down, he's dropped an album. He's gone on the Sob Rock tour. He's done multiple legs of the solo tour, multiple tours with Dead and Company, and now this residency with Dead and Co. at the Sphere. So he's been very busy. He deserves a break from touring, honestly. I would be curious to know, though, and John, if you're listening, feel free to shoot me a message and let me know. But are you playing the shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then flying back to LA or or wherever you happen to be to work on the record, pulling double duty? I don't know. I would like to think that's going on. I saw Sean Hurley, the great bassist from Sob Rock and Born and Raised and multiple tours, post. He posted something from Henson Studios. I think it was. So I mean, let me verify that here. But my mind started thinking like, oh, it was during the week. Is Sean on sessions with John Mayer during the week? I don't know. I was zooming in on the mixing board and everything else. I think it was a story actually that Sean Hurley posted. That's too bad. So it's gone now. But I was kind of trying to stealthily look in there and see if I could see a channel strip labeled like John's Guitar or something like that. But couldn't find anything. So I don't know. Maybe he's pulling double duty. That would be pretty heavy lift. But hey, I mean, the guy works hard. You never know. So let's talk about a little bit about some of the reviews that I've heard from the Sphere. We read some in a previous episode, but just some reviews and comments that I've seen from those of you watching the channel, which I really appreciate your feedback. And if any of you have gone to the Sphere or if you have future plans to do so, please leave a comment and let me know where you're going to be sitting. If you've already seen the show, what you thought. An overarching thing that I've heard is about the sound. Obviously, the visuals are amazing. Now, we cannot trust cell phone audio because microphones on cell phones they're designed to do different things in different scenarios depending on how you have the camera zoomed and where you're sitting, how you're holding it, where your hands are. So they're not really always the best representation for how something truly sounds. What I'm understanding and what I'm getting from some of you who have gone is that the sound is different. And let me explain what I mean by that. And this is, I kind of figured this would be the case because when you look at a normal concert stage, whether it's a theater, an amphitheater, just a completely outdoor open air venue like the Gorge, an arena, traditional sound, and the Grateful Dead have messed around with traditional sounds. Very cool wall of sound, things. Go Google, what their PA system that looks like. I mean, they've always been innovators when it comes to that. So it's no surprise that this version of some of the Dead members is using a very state of the art sound system in the Sphere, but the venue itself does not allow for the traditional way that you would experience concert sound. When you go to a concert, generally speaking, you have a left and a right main speaker, which is multiple line array speakers, that are hung from rigging in the ceiling or on the stage, and then you have subwoofers across the front for you to hear. So you're getting, and they have, these are going to be there's fill speakers, and depends on the venue to create as much of an even listening experience across the board as possible. But generally speaking, in its simplest form, you're going to have a line array on the left, a line array on the right. And by line array, I mean an array of speakers that are hanging. And then you have the subwoofers across the front. So it's a very, the sound is coming from very specific sources and a limited number of sources. And in the Sphere, though, if you look at the Sphere, there's nowhere that speakers are visible. There's nothing hanging. You have the band, you have the screen. So this is why the sound is so different. And it's not necessarily worse. It's just that this was, I think it was designed as a concert venue, certainly, but it's maybe the future of concert venues. You're getting sound from a lot of different sources, a lot of different places. My guess is behind that screen is there's multiple speakers throughout it, because this is meant to also be a very experiential, like almost IMAX on steroids experience, like when you watch a movie there, because they do that. They show movies there, and it's when you have surround sound for a theatrical or cinematic experience, it is different than traditionally how a band is amplified at a concert. So that's why I think it's not necessarily quieter, it's not necessarily worse or less articulate, but it's just very different, and it doesn't hit quite as hard, from what I understand from some of you who have commented. When you go to a show, you're just sometimes to a fault, you are just barraged by the sound. Here it sounds like it's a very just cinematic listening experience. It's the band is just it's weird. I don't know. I have the words to describe it. I obviously haven't been to a show. And again, if you have, please let me know. But that's been my sense of this, is that it's just different. Not necessarily better or worse, just a very different concert experience. And I personally like getting hit with that sound. So I'm wondering, Dead & Company's kind of floaty. They're kind of like, they kind of just, they can groove when they need to, but for the majority of the time, they're kind of just like, not meandering, but kind of like floating through things. When you go to like maybe U2 would be a good example, where you've got some just hard-hitting drum parts, straight ahead, more repetitive rock and roll type stuff. I wonder how that translates across. I'd be very interested to see some other bands there, and what their sound is like coming back at you, rather than Dead & Company, which is sort of this like floaty, twirly, kind of jam bandy sort of thing. So that's my take on the sound at the Sphere. Now, what I would like to think is the main event for this show is something that, we've talked about unreleased songs before on the podcast. And I want to bring one back. I'm going to grab my guitar, because we're going to demonstrate some things here to the best of my limited ability. But we're going to talk about an unreleased song called Please Be You. And this was supposed to be on the Search for Everything. So I'm going to bring this up, and there's no video for it. It's just audio from the XM Life with John Mayer show, channel and show. And I will play the beginning where he's explaining what's going on with the song, and maybe why he didn't include it on the record. And then I have some thoughts on this. I have some thoughts, John, as to why I think you should have included this on the record. So let's listen.
This is a completely unreleased song that I wrote in 2014 for the Search for Everything sessions. I wrote it. I really liked the lyrics. I like the whole damn song. And I think this might be a situation where I play a song for you. It gets released onto the channel. It starts to play every once in a while, and I will now start playing it live. The reason that you don't hear it on an album is because there's a melody line in the song in the very beginning that scrapes a little too close to another song. And the song is If Not For You, written by Bob Dylan, also performed by George Harrison. And a wonderful classic song. I didn't mean to copy those notes, but I was told that those notes are pretty close. And I was like, you're right. They're really close. So I rewrote the notes for this verse, and it was no good. And I just gave up on it. And I never thought about it again, because I'd written some other songs for the album. So this is an unreleased song. I very much dig the song. I'm glad I wrote it. I feel good about it. So you're about to hear, dare I say, you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. I just didn't put it out because I didn't want to get involved in legal, snafus. But I believe I can play it for you. I can't sell it to you, but I can play it for you. And great, because now I'm in a situation where I just like playing songs for people. This is a song that should have been on The Search for Everything, could have been on The Search for Everything. It is called Please Be You. And I think we've all been there before when we get a text or an email, or the phone rings and we go, please be you, please be you, please be you, please be you. Please be you.
If you wrote right now, I'd wonder why it wasn't meant to be. I'd probably take the blame and say it's me. If you wrote right now, if you wrote right now, I would talk to you in measured tones, give you love and leave the past alone.
All right, so that's a beautiful song and explanation from John himself. So let's back up for a second here. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bob Dylan / George Harrison song, If Not For You, I'm not going to play it from the original recording, because then I will be in the same legal trouble that John Mayer's talking about. Well, not quite the same, but that's why I have my guitar here. I'm going to demonstrate the two that we have here, the two songs we're talking about. So If Not For You, go check it out on George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, his big double album after he left the Beatles. But it's Bob Dylan tune, and it's in a different key. So we'll go back to Please Be You, but If Not For You goes like this. If not for you, babe, I couldn't even find the door, couldn't even see the floor, I'd be sad and blue if not for you. So the part that is too similar, or scrapes too close, as John Mayer says, is the If Not For You. Now, Mayer's tune goes like this. We can go back to if you wrote right now, if you wrote right now, da, 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 da. So what I would like to point out, though, is that, and this is why, John, I think you could have released the song. I think you would be okay. I think you'd be okay, because this little melody is very common. And I'm no lawyer. I'm not a doctor either. But I think, there's law that at least precedent that's been set there. I think it's like 7 notes in a row you get. I mean, anything less than that, you should be okay. Because if we go to If Not For You, I mean, there's the I'm a believer when I saw her face. I'm a believer when I'm a believer. So there's that song. There's when the saints go marching in. I mean, it's over and over and over again. You hear this sequence of notes. So I don't think that, if you roll right now, if you roll right now, I think he could have gotten away with it. Now, it sounds like somebody came to him and said, hey, John, this is a little bit too close. And then he said, I tried to rewrite it, and he didn't like the rewrite and just moved on. So I think that's fine. Do I think this was going to be a number one hit? No, of course not. But I think he could have gotten away with it. But, think about the situations that have arisen over the last decade with multiple pretty high-profile lawsuits that were questionable at best. You had the Ed Sheeran lawsuit, which he won. You had the Coldplay Viva La Vida snafu with who was that? Was it Steve Vai or Joe Satriani? I can't remember. One of them had a song that they thought was a little bit too close to Viva La Vida. There was the Alan Thicke thing. Was it Alan Thicke? What's his name? Is Alan Thicke the one from Growing Pains? What's his kid's name? I don't remember. But he had the whole thing, so it's I think that there's been a litigious approach to not properly crediting people or not, quote unquote, properly crediting. So, what Mayer could have done was preemptively given credit to Bob Dylan on this song. But I would like to think that Bob Dylan would have been cool with this. It's the people. When you have people working for you, that's the problem, because they come to you and they say, hey, that's a little too close, John. Or, Bob Dylan's just out doing his thing, and Mayer puts Please Be You out in 2017 or whatever it was for Search for Everything. And And, you know, one of Bob's lawyers comes along and says, Bob, we might have a case here. What do you think about this? Or maybe they don't even ask him. Maybe they just do it. I don't know. So I would like to think, though, artist to artist, this, I mean, you know, if not for you versus Please Be You, I don't think there's anything that, you know, needs to be litigated there. But again, that common sense doesn't always drive why someone might file a lawsuit. So it's, you know, hey, I mean, better safe than sorry, particularly for a song that's going to be an album track, probably, you know, track 7 or 8 or something. And if we were going to lose a song like Rosie, for example, off of Search for Everything, I would much rather have Rosie than Please Be You. Great tune. I hope that, you know, this is from late 2023 that John posted or talked about this on the channel. I hope he does play it live. It'd be cool to have another kind of unreleased thing. I don't think he ever played this on the solo tour. Would have been interesting to see if he would bust it out during the Europe portion, but he didn't, as far as I know. So we get just this demo, and I think, in my uneducated and non-expert opinion, John, you could have released this and you probably wouldn't have been sued, and it was a good song. And I do understand, though, after you rewrote it, because it's kind of a hook, the na-na-na-na. I mean, like, you know, a lot of people use it for a reason. Once you lose that, maybe the magic is gone. This brings us to the After Dinner Mint. Yes, that's right, the After Dinner Mint, aptly named. Welcome to the looser, more informal portion of the show, where I don't care anymore about retention of the audience for YouTube analytics. If you're not familiar with what makes a YouTube video go out to a bunch of people, it's initially the thumbnail, and then whether or not you click on the thumbnail, and then how long you watch. So those of you who watch to this point in the show, the After Dinner Mint, and I said I would explain why it's named that last time, and I didn't. I'm going to do it this time. So don't let me forget. But those of you who are watching at this point are, if you're a member, unbelievable support. Thank you so much. If you are not and you're watching it to this point, you are supporting the show more than you know. When you watch and listen to this all the way through, it's absolutely massive. So thank you to those of you who do so. And then thank you to those of you who comment, like, and of course, the members, thank you so much. You have no idea how much that helps. It's small, but it helps. It really helps to keep things moving. So the After Dinner Mint, why is it called that? Well, Trish, thank you, named this. And it was a mention from Mayer at some point about something that arguably I think he is one of the best at. And it's not a new concept that he invented, but he is the absolute best at giving you the last chorus of a song and then bringing in a theme that you have not heard yet. Whether it's a vocal line, whether it's a guitar line, it's generally something that is so good and so catchy that it could have been the hook for the song all along, or the hook for a totally separate song. What I mean by this is, like, okay, think of the song Belief. Okay, you go through the whole thing, and you've got, you know, the guitar riff is just iconic and instantly recognizable. Then you've got the solo, you know, that whole thing. Wonderful, all that. The chorus, we're never gonna win the world, they're gonna stop the world, leave is what we're fighting for. Whole thing, right? Awesome. You get to the end of the song, and then what do you get? You get the na 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 na, which is like, you know, it's like the na 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 and Hey Jude. I mean, like, is there anything better than that? I mean, this happens over and over and over again, and he referred to it as the After Dinner Mint. You've had dinner, you've had dessert, you've had drinks, and then all of a sudden, the thing that closes it out is this mint that comes after dinner. So that's why this portion of the podcast is named the After Dinner Mint, because Mayer himself exhibits this ability. I mean, I'm not comparing the end of this show to the the themes that he brings in at the ends of his songs. But it's a really cool tactic in songwriting to bring some new element in over a chorus you've already heard. And he is a master at this. So here's your homework. Here's your homework if you're still listening. Go and listen anything. Pick any Mayer album. Pick out the After Dinner Mint of the song. And leave it in a comment here on any video, but leave it maybe on this one. But so I said Belief. There's a million of them. Sometimes they're even from another song. So if you go back to Your Body is a Wonderland, we're out of tune, but whatever. He brings in My Stupid Mouth at the end of that. It's buried, but you've got there's two in Your Body is Wonderland. You've got the I'm never speaking up again. He brings that in to Your Body's in Wonderland, and then he also brings in the ba 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 ba. Again, two things that could live on their own in separate songs. He brings them in at the end of that song. He's already made $25 million with that song before he even brings in that really cool thing at the end. So that's the After Dinner Mint. That's the explanation around it. Thanks for letting me play some out-of-tune guitar to explain that. But stay tuned. I'm editing the big episode with our first guest right now, Alex Meyer from Super Danger Studios. So watch out for that. It's coming soon. It's a little later than I had planned, but that's okay. It's a great episode. It's long. It's probably double the length of one of these normal shows, but it's worth it. It moves, and the topic I think is really cool and will inspire lots of discussion, I hope, from those of you who enjoy this show. And those of you who enjoy this show, I thank you. This has been Everything Mayer. My name is Tom Butwin. Let me know if you're going to the Sphere. Let me know if you've been to the Sphere. I want to know. I was tempted. I was looking at the Delta app. I discovered how scarily cheap some of these hotel rooms are in Vegas. Makes me wonder why they're so cheap. Probably not somewhere that you want to stay. But, I don't think I'm going to make it out there. I don't think I do. Unless somebody comes through and sponsors a trip out there, which I doubt is going to happen. I don't think I'm going to make it, so I have to rely on those of you who are going to let me know how it is, and the more information I get, the better, or maybe worse I feel about not going. So I'll see you in the next one. This has been Everything Mayer. Have a great week, everybody, and I will talk to you very soon.